time the sun rises in one part of the world until it rises again on the other side. There are people of action around the world doing good, changing lives, giving hope. The sun never sets in Rotary. Service is bigger than ourselves. The sun never sets in Rotary. Thanks to you, we are Rotary, we are one. All these people who give are Rotarians, who engage with the youth, work with them. They serve those most in need, heal the sick, promote peace and polio and save lives. The sun never sets in Rotary. Service is bigger than ourselves. The sun never sets in Rotary. Thanks to you, we are Rotary, we are one. Thanks to you, we are Rotary, we are one.
It is a great joy to be with you participating in this initiative called The Sun Never Sets on Rotary, which for the 5th consecutive year allows us to celebrate our organization's anniversary through 24 online Rotary meetings around the world involving Rotarians and districts from more than 50 different countries connected through a single and common Zoom link. This initiative allows us to emphasize what Rotary International represents for the world: a legacy of service, leadership, collaboration, and innovation. And it's an opportunity to inspire future generations to join the service organization and make a difference in the world. So congratulations, my friends of The Sun Never Sets in Rotary, for this initiative and to organize the 24 online Rotary meetings around the world celebrating the magic of Rotary. 120 years has united us and inspired all of us to serve mankind.
Hello, my name is Tim Vile and I'm the Governor of District 1145. I'd like to take a few minutes to explain to you what is Rotary Great Britain and Ireland and where exactly our district is in the United Kingdom, give you a tour around the district and explain how we're meeting the challenges facing us as Rotarians. The Rotary International Association for Great Britain and Ireland was formed in 1922 and is now known as Rotary Great Britain and Ireland. We are 24 districts, and the 24 DGs, district governors, meet monthly, usually over Zoom. We also work together in clusters of neighbouring districts, shown coloured here, to share projects and expertise. We have in the region of 1,500 clubs and 33,000 Rotarians. So this shows us where our district lies within southern England. Let's take a look at the district in a bit more detail. Our district is formed from the counties of Sussex, typically the lower third of the area shown by the red line, Surrey, the mid section, and a portion of North East Hampshire with just 3 clubs to the west, and then South London to the north. We also have non-physical clubs, as many districts do. We have the E-Club of young professionals, all younger postgraduates, and we host the E-Club of Bipolar, which supports and furthers the cause of bipolar nationally and of course internationally. And I know that they would welcome any interest from anyone watching who may be a similar young professional or have an affinity with bipolar. We also have a number of direct Rotarians, a form of membership currently unique to Rotary Great Britain and Ireland, where Rotarians don't subscribe to belong to any club, but nevertheless give time to service. These are just 3 of our famous sporting venues: Epsom Racecourse, Twickenham Stadium, and of course the world famous Wimbledon Championship tennis tournament is played at the All England Croquet and Tennis Club at Wimbledon, South London. You can see the south of England is a beautiful place to live. And our district has some fantastic historical sites, and here are just 3. The former royal residence of the Royal Pavilion located in Brighton on the southern coast, and the memorial to the signing of the world-renowned Magna Carta document at Runnymede in the year 1215. And then the Royal Palace at Hampton Court, home to King Henry VIII and built in the early 16th century. Farnborough in our district, and actually the home of my own club, is famous for its contribution to aviation, from the first powered flight in the United Kingdom in 1908 to the world famous Farnborough Air Show. Now I'd like to introduce you to 2 of the ways in which our district is enabling clubs to engage with the community, both here and overseas. First, President Jenny Thornton will outline how her club, Camberley in Surrey, has developed an award scheme which is now supported by the district and available for all clubs to use.
Hello, from Rotary South, District 1145. My name is Jenny Thornton. I'm president of Camberley Rotary Club. As you can see, Rotary does a terrific amount for the young, but today I'd like to introduce to you a new award, the Rotary South Junior Community Award. This award is an opportunity for children in the last year of primary school to take part in non-competitive studies that will help them to learn new skills and to develop the ones they already have to improve their life chances. This gives them the opportunity to engage in the richness and diversity of local communities. It gives them the chance to improve their position in the community. This award has been running as a trial in 2 primary schools in Camberley since May 2024. And we've had some great responses from the teachers and of course the children. For the award, the children have helped in the community, delivering breakfasts, doing litter picking, attending Remembrance Day celebrations, attending Diwali, learning to play the piano, the drums, working with the Surrey Heath Youth Council, learning to ski, to cook, and to help younger children. They've had swimming lessons, they've mixed with families of other cultures, they've interviewed the local vicar to get an understanding of beliefs in other religions from their own. And we've had 17 children so far that have gone through the Rotary Junior Community Award. The Rotary Junior Community Award originated actually over 25 years ago in the district of Mitchell River in Melbourne. Thousands of children have completed the award with benefit of them going forward and really having a positive impact in life. It's been adapted with their permission for the use in the UK. And the slide shows the group of young children receiving their award. The materials for use in the Rotary South Junior Award look like this. Each child receives a diary which they can use to record what they have done. They can note their activities in the diary, and all that is required is an adult signature to confirm the activity has been done. And we are flexible in how the activity is shown. It can be words, pictures, or a video. So it really is open to all. And as you can see, it's very coherent, that it is all organised for you, completely planned, and very easy, therefore, to give to children and to schools for them to start. It's not an exam, and that's the important part. The award consists of 4 pieces of work that the children must complete in order to get their award. There is a community section. This has to be done for a minimum of 1 hour per week for 10 weeks. There are many things a child can choose to do. They can help somebody in some way with a disability. They can help to tidy and clean their area that they live in. They can plant trees, because if you plant them, you're less likely to snap them. And if you clean your neighbourhood, you're less likely to make it dirty. Physical recreation, as you can see here, is very important in keeping fit, both mentally and physically. The requirement is 2 hours per week for 10 weeks, outside of regular school activities. For example, football, tennis, badminton, cycling, dance, judo, anything which raises the heartbeat and encourages interaction with others. Children of this age often complain about being bored, and this is great for them. It helps boost their ego because they find something that they're good at, and it keeps them away from electronic devices for a while. The social experiences are an area in which the child picks a minimum of 3 sections. They can do anything taking part in a community meeting, a community commemoration. They can meet people from different cultures. They can enjoy different religious or spiritual experiences, or get involved in anything with arts or environment. In other words, they can go to a concert, an art gallery, help with conservation work, go to a religious service which is not their own, mix with children of different cultures, go to a local town centre, to a council meeting, sit on a youth board, a governor's meeting, go to the opening of a public facility. The opportunities are endless. It is important, we feel, to get involved with your local community, because we know that insular communities have problems of isolation, misunderstanding, vandalism, antisocial behaviour, bigotry, even racism. The skills section involves learning a new skill or developing an existing one that they can have as a lifelong joy. Children love to learn new skills. And you can see here children that have loved doing the work with their diary.
I have enjoyed doing litter picking because it helps the environment and I'm doing it with my friends.
I enjoy doing piano lessons because I've been doing it for quite a while now and I've really been enjoying it.
I enjoyed working with the Surrey Heath Youth Council because it's really fun.
I enjoyed learning how to ski because it's a new skill.
I enjoyed learning how to cook because it's also a new skill.
I enjoyed learning the drums because it was really fun.
I enjoyed helping all the little kids with my club artistic swimming.
I enjoyed doing the list picking because it helps the environment.
I enjoyed exploring the history of the Stone Age because it's really interesting.
I enjoyed learning how different people celebrate their cultures.
Quite clearly, there is an easy section for each of the areas that need to be covered for children to enjoy filling in. At the end of the award in June or July, the sponsoring Rotary Club arranges a short presentation event with a dignitary, maybe, somebody important to the children. In Camberley this summer, we're hoping to hold the event in the council chambers with perhaps an MP, the mayor of the local borough, maybe a royal, and the president of the local Rotary Club doing the presentation of the certificate and the badge. This award is open to all children aged 10 and 11. A school will love to take this on to look after the possibilities of children that maybe otherwise would not get this sort of opportunity, the validation, the certificate and the badge. We are keen that the award is open to all families and for children to have the opportunity. As the award is a non-profit making scheme, it would be capable for the school to help, and there are grants available from local authorities should a school or a child not be able to do the award because of difficulties. A child should not be excluded because of a lack of funds. We have videos of the children and what they think about the awards. And the UK clubs have got from the Camberley Rotary Club, Rotary South, a starter pack so that they can take this to schools to look at to go ahead with the award. Thank you so much for listening to our account of what we think is a fantastic opportunity for all children to engage more widely in the community and to learn about different cultures and beliefs and build their own self-image and esteem while helping the community. We would love you to take part.
Thanks, Jenny. And thanks to your club for all of the hard work and dedication to deliver such a great project. Of course, a huge part of our Rotary focus is on promoting peace and goodwill. Here's past Governor James Onions explaining how we lead on international country committees.
Thanks, Tim. Hi, I'm Mike Thorne, and I'm District Governor nominee at District 1145 and the Sun Never Sets in Rotary Coordinator for this year. I've got with me Jim Onions. Now, Jim is not only a past District Governor of our district, but also he is the Rotary Great Britain and Ireland Coordinator for the Intercountry Committees. So, welcome, Jim, and thanks for joining us today.
Mike, good to be with you and good to be with everyone else online, many of whom I probably already know over the past few years.
Indeed. So we'll just have a little chat around the intercountry committees and connection with the Sun Never Sets in Rotary. So how did you first get involved with the ICCs and the Sun Never Sets on Rotary back in 2021, was it?
It was. I was already in the ICCs at that time. So this started with a call from a dear friend, Krishna, widely known as NK, who came from the Rotary Club of Ambattur in Chennai, the same club as Vasanti. They had this idea of a 24-hour program where clubs around the world linked together to celebrate Rotary's birthday. Sounded great, but maybe hard work. He wanted help finding clubs to work with them. A few phone calls to other ICC coordinators, an announcement at an ICC summit in Brussels showed how much the ICC nations globally wanted to be involved. One of those in Brussels was past RI Vice President Celia Guy. This wonderful lady brought in most of the South American countries. She also composed the Sun Never Sets on Rotary song. That first show was challenging for us, but happily you and our dear friend Ron Daniels came to our rescue, and of course Nick.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I remember that now. It's amazing how time flies. But on the ICCs, what would you say were the unique selling points of ICCs compared to our normal Rotary?
Okay, the brief is around connecting Rotarians from different countries to promote peace and international understanding across borders. Traditionally, this includes friendship exchanges and club twinning. Two teams of Rotarians in each of the nations work together. They tend to be energetic Rotarians who want to get things done. More recently, particularly as we go global, most of the ICCs focus on international service projects and vocational projects. And this is where the USPs, in my mind, are. The ability to initiate and facilitate projects that are significant nationally. The linking together of districts, because in the main, districts don't talk to each other than the one next door or the others in your country. And the opportunity to be involved in the sort of projects at a very high level that are important internationally. That, I think, is where the USP is. Examples of that are our work to support Ukraine, which was based on our ICC relationships. I'll say more about that later. Our Nigerian peace efforts. For the first time ever in Rotary, they led to a supervisory role in the nation's elections. We're able to harness resource from the United Nations and the European Union to support the training of around 100 Rotarians. The story is in February's RI magazine. We handed over that piecework to a new Nigerian Peace Rag chapter that is going strong. In Turkey, following the earthquake, people are living in container and tent cities. Children are receiving serious burns, 80 to 90% burns. And we've supported a revolutionary treatment to support over 100 children, which our leader, Grace Gibbs, will be going to see in February, late February. We also have a few global projects, things like aquaponics, which could be instrumental in tackling world hunger, End Plastic Soup, and one that is tackling the abuse of children, My Body is My Body.
Oh, Jim, tell me more about that.
Okay, we live in a world of 2 billion children. And to me, unbelievably, 1 billion are abused annually. Some of this becomes visible here in the UK and Ireland in our many abuse cases, but that is the tip of an iceberg. This is a program of singing and dance that educates children. We've succeeded in kicking off programs in Romania, Nigeria, and the many nations of the Caribbean. Suzanne Walsh in your own club has translated for Turkey. Why don't we look at a video of children who've been on the courses and just how well they know the words, how well they dance to it, and just children being children.
Hello, my name is Sister Afumbam Blanche, a member of the Holy Family Choir of Yaoundé, Cameroon. We are going to sing some songs, have some fun, and learn about how to keep safe. You know, our bodies are very special, that nobody has the right to hurt us, touch our private parts, or do anything that makes us feel uncomfortable, because it's our special body. We are going to start by singing and demonstrating the My Body is My Body. And I want you to sing along with me.
It's my body, my body. Nobody has the right me. 'Cause my body is my body for me. I've got hair on my head I want you to see, and a little belly button in the middle of me. I've got a cute little nose and 10 little toes, and I've got a mouth to tell you what I want you to know. It's my body, and nobody has a right to hurt me. It's my body.
My body, and nobody ever right to hurt me. My body is my body for me. It's my body, and nobody has a right to touch me. C'est mon corps, et personne n'a le droit de le blesser.
Wow, thanks, Jim. I remember that video, and do you know what? We had Rotary International President-elect Mario singing and dancing to that song back in Newcastle at our Action Summit, only in, I think it was November last year. So it's a beautiful song, and thank you for sharing it.
Yeah, I also remember it very well. And I was stood very close to Holger Knack, who was doing exactly the same thing. I think it's worth pointing out in that video, you see many nations of children of many ages, including teenagers. And it's relevant to all of them, but mainly the under 12s. And it really does get them involved and get them responsible.
Hey, thanks, Jim. So how long's our district been involved in the ICCs, and what was our first one?
Okay, we actually got involved as a district in the ICCs with India. In fact, with a group based in Chennai. And it started back in 2017. I led it, and Anne-Marie, our immediate past district governor, is an active member. And I took over as national coordinator in 2018.
So how many ICCs do we have now? There's a lot, I'm sure, but give us a clue where they are.
Okay, well, actually it's quite a moving target because we move them between districts. They don't always stay in the same district
okay.
they were in previously. So there are 15 in Great Britain and Ireland with over 40 nations, and there are 8 in District 1145. And they are Romania and Moldova, India, Germany, Turkey, Nigeria, Spain, all the Caribbean nations, with Lithuania coming later in the year. Others in other districts include Italy and Malta and San Marino as one, Portugal, Philippines, Bulgaria, France, and the 7 nations of Southern Africa.
So that's our district. Where do ICCs cover in the world? Are there other districts involved, or is that the whole of them?
It's a global program, Mike, and we have the opportunity to connect with every country in the world. Historically, it was only in Europe, and now we're changing. We're becoming global. It means that ICC changes with it. You're not going to twin with a club somewhere over the other side of the world and visit them every other year, but you can have Zoom contact.
Mm-hmm.
You can do those sort of things. In Africa, a year ago, there were 6 relationships between African countries. There are now around 60.
Wow.
So last year, we signed a relationship with the African countries as a whole. And probably today, North America's got the least coverage.
Well, if we're a district and we want to set up a new one, how will we go about it?
it's best to start with a team leader. And sometimes that can take a while. A team leader who wants to start a relationship, usually to nations of one or more districts, because that fits the Rotary organizational model. Too often the request comes from outside and we are challenged to find a leader. So we then form a team representing our 4 nations. Usually, okay, it's led by one district and probably sticks for a while in one nation, but we want to make sure all the nations get involved. And they meet over Zoom to get to know each other. And in parallel, they meet with a similar team from the other nation. So you've got these 2 teams meet together to get to know each other, and then meet together as one, almost as one club, to develop real relationships. And they agree some projects that they want to progress. There is then a charter ceremony over Zoom, and I've got a funny feeling Nick's been at almost all of them.
Mm. But you say 4 nations.
Yeah.
Which 4 nations?
England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and yes, we can count Northern Ireland as a 5th one.
Okay. Thank you. So, how much contact do we actually have?
Well, each ICC decides. Some of them don't meet very often at all, but most frequently there's a monthly Zoom meeting and occasional visits. So, you know, people come to London from all over the world and they'll meet with other people in their ICC over here, and vice versa when we go to their countries.
So what are some of the joint projects we've done so far, or maybe over the last couple of years? Or will that take too long?
Well, I think that would take 15 minutes in its own right. And will probably get quite boring because there are an awful lot of them. But those projects I mentioned earlier probably give good examples.
So, but what's an ICC offer that a normal district-to-district contact doesn't?
Frankly, today there is rarely district-to-district contact. You've been to DG before. How many districts outside the country did you have close contact with? And I suspect the answer is 0. So maybe that's why it works so well, because we do it within the district structure, it fits in and provides that function for the district. And it also creates an ICC with a mission to develop those relationships. And experience says, once cooperating with the team, focused on it, much can be achieved.
Okay, well, what's happening with our most recent ICC then?
Well, that's run by Michael Ramcharan from our end. And the relationship is with 2 of the 3 Caribbean districts, the ones that speak English. Now, there is a great place. Now, that is a great place to get to know, a great place to visit. They've just launched a My Body is My Body project on some of the islands. We had around 60 Rotarians at the kickoff meeting, and they're getting great support from Chrissy Sykes, Chief Executive of My Body is My Body. And one of the great things is all materials are free, and they're free online for any school or youth organisation to use.
Wow, there's so much going on. And with all that, are you looking to set up any more over the next year?
Well, I've resisted it for a while. But yes, the most immediate is Lithuania.
Oh.
It involves Anne-Marie again, and she's probably the person most behind it. And also Odetta from the district hub, because everyone is involved. And child abuse is everywhere. And child safeguarding is high on the list of many nations. And that includes European ones as much as it does anywhere else in the world. And we're also looking at a joint project for children in Ukraine. And I suspect fairly soon Kenya will follow, and other African countries. And we're also working on Brazil. And it's probably a good year to be working on it because Mario is RI president next year.
I was just thinking exactly that.
The main thing we need are leaders and members for current and future relationships. That was an advert.
No, but you mentioned Ukraine there, and we've been a leading district supporting Ukraine. How has the ICC relationships helped that?
Well, everything with Ukraine is relationships, relationships and relationships. And most of all, trust. And that trust is vital. Many of you have seen Sergei Zavansky online. I first met with him a year before the war broke out, giving an IC session over Zoom that he as DG hosted. We were online with many future ICC members as missiles went over that first evening of the war. The initial core team had already created a peace park in Kyiv that continues to be tended daily. The leaders know we're available and we know each other so well and trust each other. Essentially, we work as a club. We currently are international host for a global grant delivering safe water to schools, working with Boris Bodnar, who many of you will also know. Most of what we have delivered has been facilitated by the teams around Sergei and Boris. My club, Kew Gardens, gained a new member who wanted to get involved, Robin Jarrett. He has visited Ukraine twice during the war. Sergei organised for him to visit many schools to understand the impact on children. We kicked off some basic support, but also looked to the future. These children are the future of Ukraine. So we started off a STEM project with several schools to train the scientists and engineers of Ukraine's future. We have a global grant in process. By the way, Robin is 86.
Wow.
Quite a guy, quite a guy. He recently returned from Kharkiv. All is very sad there, but there is still some joy. Those children so badly impacted by war were still able to sing to Robin. This is the song they sang.
Thank you. Well, thanks, Jim. That's another video of young people singing away, and good to see the girls leading on this one. Very much so. Overall, Jim, so we've come to the end, and very quickly, how do you think that ICCs can make a difference?
Well, I think ICCs have got a great future as we go around the world in connecting districts and nations together. The district-to-district relationship is very much part of Rotary, but frankly, it's very rare that DGs get involved in any other district. So in this situation, DGs and PDGs are getting involved in the projects, and the projects are at national level, as with the ones I talked about earlier. And that's great, because it means that ICC becomes a great program to get involved in. And I think anyone who wishes to, just have a look at the ICC relationships in your countries and go for it.
Well, thanks very much, Jim. We can tell your passion for ICCs there, and I hope that people can appreciate that passion of this short interview. And at that, we're going to hand back to Tim, and it's goodbye from me.
And from me.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thanks, James. Peace is so fundamental to Rotary, and I'm pleased to lead a district that has a long peace pedigree. Now, I mentioned earlier that we are facing our challenges head on. Like so many governors within Great Britain and Ireland, I know that most significant challenge faced by our district is not identifying the areas of need or how to find projects. It's replacing our members as they age or leave, so that we can do what we do best as Rotarians, which is service to our community. Every year, we see clubs close for the lack of new members. So we decided to act to meet this head on. The district has embarked on a series of events to enable Rotarians to develop ideas and ways to attract large numbers of residents that we know do want to give service. We just need to understand how to connect them to Rotary. Firstly, this year in January, we held a district membership summit, attended by over 100 Rotarians from 50 clubs, plus visitors from 2 neighbouring districts. The clubs across our district are in very differing and diverse areas, ranging from urban areas around South London to the leafy villages and hamlets of rural Surrey or Sussex. They range from stable communities to those in seaside tourist towns with a transient and seasonal population. No matter where we live in this district, though, we are now a mix of cultures and ethnicities, and that enriches us so much. Each with their needs, as for any other portion of the community, but also with their ideas and enthusiasm to make their locale a better place. Those are the community volunteers of the future, and those are the Rotarians of our future, our Rotary. And that's what the day was all about. How do we identify them and bring them into this movement? We use speakers to stimulate table-led discussions, and over the course of the day, we talked about how we can get the message out, what has worked elsewhere. We shared the ideas. We discussed how we can work to reflect the diverse communities around us, how we can learn to ensure our Rotary meets their needs and expectations. And we heard about the power of words and how we can better understand the needs of our fellow Rotarians to create the best of fellowships and working partnerships. We found that Rotarians actually were eager to discuss these topics over a table with fellow Rotarians from other clubs. They enjoyed listening and contributing to the debates. And after lunch, everyone was deliberately sat on a different table to meet new Rotarians with fresh ideas and outlooks. Feedback from the event was that it was a valuable opportunity to look at this challenge with fresh eyes, and we'll definitely use this event model again in future years. The next event in the series is on March the 1st, when clubs will come together again, this time over Zoom, to carry on the discussion and to tell us what ideas they may have developed since the summit. Then we will organise very local and smaller meetings in assistant governor areas where neighbouring clubs can meet and share solutions to their common communities, and perhaps sharing resources. But the first lesson for club sharing communities has been they're not in competition. Rotary Great Britain and Ireland is also playing its part, and grassroots Rotarians from this district will soon be invited to participate in focus groups to enable us to understand why members join Rotary, what they like about Rotary, and of course, what they see as ideas for the future. I'm sure the willingness to engage by my fellow Rotarians and the desire to see Rotary continue will drive us forward, and we will concede. Now, groups to enable us to understand why members join Rotary, what they like about Rotary, and of course, what they see as ideas for the future. We often say there's a need for change, but how many of us want to change how we actually do our Rotary? I've now been joined by past President Philip Rambeck of Guildford Way Rotary Club. The Guildford Way project was the means by which 2 of the 3 clubs in the town of Guildford managed a decline in their combined membership. Hi Philip, great to see you.
Hi Tim.
So, can you tell us what was the problem that the clubs in Guildford were facing?
Well, Tim, we had a situation which I think is very similar to a lot of clubs, certainly in UK, and I believe also Western Europe, is that we had an average age well over 70 years. We had a not quite fully understood situation in the public in general as to what Rotary does. We had a dwindling membership base because people were dying off or they were just not able to contribute anymore. We had very, very huge difficulties on attracting any new members. And it basically boils down to the fact that we were not relevant for people in 2024, 2025, where we are today as such. What also comes into that these 3 clubs had for the last 10 years been looking at potentially trying to do something to merge back again. But we just said that, no, we need to do something more dramatic as such.
And what was the solution that you came up with?
Well, we took 2 members from each of the 3 clubs, and we started at the point saying that, you know what, people out in the public, they do not really care whether we are this club or that club. We are just seen as Rotary in Guildford. The subset of number of clubs is irrelevant to the general public. from where we want to pick our new members as such. So we took 2 members from each of the clubs and we sat down and we had the work group where we then met on a regular basis and said, how can we get this together? And is it a merger? Is it one club absorbing the other? Or is it a totally new approach? So that's I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a little while.
Okay, so how many members of the final 2 participating clubs are actually engaged and moved over to your new club?
Yeah, well, what we found is that the best way to do this, to make sure that any historic frictions, any historic disagreements between the clubs, they would just put aside. We say, let's start with a blank sheet of paper, and we did so. So we took a new charter and we closed down 2 old clubs. And in that situation, I'm very proud to say that we actually had 16 out of 16 from one club and 18 out of 19 from another club joining the new charter. And in the process, and this is important, in the process, we had 8 new members joining. They had been sort of milling around in the outskirts, but they didn't feel that they belonged to the old set structure, but they were very happy to join the new charter, the new club that we set up, which is then Guildford Way.
Yeah. So what was the outcome in terms of members' satisfaction, stroke engagement, and of course, the all-important membership recruitment dividend?
Yeah, and the key driver here is that we are people of action. We are people that want to do things and contribute. So what we did in the process was to fundamentally change from being a breakfast club and a lunch club into a purely project-based club. So we now congregate around our projects, and within the project, where people are, of course, very passionate about what they care about, they will find their new camaraderie and new friendships under certain subjects in the projects. So we are now in a much better position where we can be attractive to new members coming on board because they are passionate about the project. They're not passionate about yet another meeting over a lunch or a dinner. That's not what they want. They want to give their time into a project they care about. So it's very much a project-oriented club.
Thank you. What is the club able to do now then that it wasn't previously possible to do, and what's the plan going forward?
Yeah, first of all, what we have now is that we have regained what I say critical mass. Previously, as a lot of the other clubs will have, they will have problems finding presidents. They will probably having the secretary, the treasurer, all of those things. We've now regained critical mass, so we've got a bigger pool to choose from. With our projects, we can go to the local community in a much more focused and more relevant communication and say, hey, come and join us, not necessarily as a Rotary member, but come and join us in our projects. Then phase 2, we can ask them, oh, by the way, would you like to join as a member? And this is a key point in the overall approach, because ultimately, if you think of it, it's not the membership per se that counts. It is what we can give back to the community, and that is what we do through the projects.
Yeah. Now, I suspect I know the answer to this, but would you and your members recommend this to other clubs in similar positions?
Absolutely. And I think this is yet another key point. We are now in a situation where we need to think about, it's not about service above self. It is about service to Rotary more than self-service, if you know what I mean. Let's think outside the box and find out what can we do to secure the long-term value and contribution from Rotary. And for that, we need to put our own personal interest a little bit at the back. So let's go out and do this project-based. Let's make sure that we can be attractive to people and thereby get new members on board.
Thank you. Thanks, Philip. That was really interesting. and thank you for your time. You know, this project has been a beacon to us in how we rethink what you do as clubs to reflect what it is that's both important to you as members, but in a way that's attractive to those in the community who would make excellent Rotarians. When I visited the club in September, I found the members of all ages engaged and enthusiastically enjoying their Rotary once again. And clubs in our district now use this model to review and manage situations where there may be several declining clubs in a single community. So our time is nearly up. I start each and every club visit with an explanation of Rotary International President Stephanie's theme, the magic of Rotary. I believe that the amount of goodness that Rotary brings to the world is truly immeasurable. 1.2 million Rotarians, all creating projects for good in their communities or for others. I'm particularly proud of the contribution that our district makes to that effort. You've heard about a couple of our projects, the Junior Award Scheme, and our work with the inter-country committees. You've heard that, yes, we do have challenges, but we're meeting them head on and with resolve. Thank you for watching. Please do come and see us. We'd love to learn from your ideas and enthusiasm as well. Thank you.
Червона калина похилилася, чогось наша славна Україна зажурилася.